Hello, welcome to Cooking Time. My name is David Martone. I'm the executive chef at Classic Time Cooking School here in Westfield, New Jersey. And today we're actually starting a two-part series. This is part one of leftovers. I have a bunch of leftovers in my refrigerator and I always go crazy, you know, what to do with all these odds and ends and different things. So today I'm going to get rid of half of the stuff in my fridge, and next show we'll get rid of the other half. So I've got a bunch of stuff laid out. I've got some chicken cutlets, some spinach. I hard cooked a few eggs. I've got a little bit of prosciutto left over. I've got some lamb. We had some lamb chops, and I had a few lamb chops left over, so I just cut those up into nice little chunks. They were cooked on the grill, and then a little sauce was made for them. So I just cut them up and put them in whatever little sauce. You know, there's always different ways of figuring out what to do with things. A little bit of some shredded Gruyere cheese. We had a few little pieces of potato croquette, or if I would have had some mashed potatoes, that would have worked fine. If I didn't have any mashed potatoes, I would have simply taken a few potatoes. I always have potatoes. And just peeled them and boiled them and put them through a ricer and had a little bit of mashed potatoes. A little bit of leftover broccoli, a little bit of carrot. It's all going to make sense. Don't worry, it's all going to make sense. Garlic, always garlic in everything. Chicken stock, I've always got some chicken stock. A little bit more cheese. This happened to be some very mild provolone cheese. I'm going to shred that up. And I've got a couple of rolls. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to cut the tops of these rolls off and kind of make them like little bread bowls, because I had some leftover macaroni. It's always macaroni to me. You might call it pasta, but if you call it pasta, we're going to have to charge a whole lot more money for it. Macaroni, it's homemade, it's cooked at home by mama, usually. That's the way we know it. And this happens to be a percatelli or boccatini. They're two very similar shapes. They're actually, I'll pull one shape out to show you. They're like a thick spaghetti, but it's actually got a hole in it. So it's like this macaroni straw. And this we had left over. It was sauteed simply with some pancetta and some herbs and a little butter. So we want to figure out something to do with this. We're going to make three different dishes to have brand new dishes for our leftovers. So first I'm going to heat up a saute pan. I'm going to deal with these chicken cutlets first. Growing up in Jersey City, we used to eat, if we weren't eating at home, we were eating at our favorite local restaurants. And one of mine in Hoboken was a restaurant that's long, long gone. It was called Casella's. It was on First Street, and it was owned by a gentleman, Marty Casella, who's passed away now. Kind of a colorful guy. If you Google him, I'm sure you'll see some colorful stuff about him. But when we went to Casella's restaurant, we used to order veal or chicken saltimbocca. Saltimbocca kind of means jump in the mouth, but it's made a million different ways. It can be just simply sauteed with a sage leaf and a piece of prosciutto and breaded and served in a little bit of very light, like a wine sauce. But at Casella's, they breaded chicken cutlets, and then they put prosciutto and they put sauteed spinach, and they put slices of hard-cooked eggs, hard-boiled eggs. And they made kind of like a little buttery wine sauce to just gently, gently sauce it. So since I have some chicken cutlets left over, I'm going to make this dish. I had some spinach, and we'll get them all going in a nice tray and put them in the oven and just warm them all up. So because our chicken cutlets are done, this will go very quickly. I'll put a little olive oil in my saute pan. Need my garlic. We're shifting a million things around just to make room. That's what we'll put the finished item in. Okay, we get to our garlic, and we'll just quickly chop up all this garlic. Coarsely chopped. It doesn't have to be really, really fine. I like my garlic coarsely chopped. I like some substance when I'm eating it. I'm a big garlic lover. And we're simply going to saute this spinach in the oil and garlic to get it nice and tender. You want to buy baby spinach when you're doing this because the baby spinach will cook down really quick. You don't have to worry about any stems that are kind of tough in nature. Remember our knife skills. We always use the back of the knife when we're putting stuff off our cutting board, scraping things along our cutting board. You know what, you'll hear me say many of the same things over and over again. For instance, cooking garlic, never burn it. If you burn the garlic, start over, because the garlic gets terribly, terribly bitter. So you want to get it lightly golden brown and then add your ingredients. The garlic is so cheap and easy to replace, you wouldn't want to bitter the entire dish. Never saute in extra virgin olive oil. Again, it can make a bitter flavor. Use your extra virgin olive oil for the end finish cooking, just a drizzle over the top. My garlic's getting nice and tender now. A few little pieces are getting golden brown. This is going to splatter a bit. You hear it starting to crackle until it releases some of its liquid. Got spinach flying all over the place here. You'll see all this spinach will cook down rather quickly. We'll add a little salt and pepper to this. Yeah, Google Marty Casella, or he used to go by the name of Mott's, I think was his nickname. He ran a great restaurant, and then he left quite unexpectedly, and he was getting up there in age. I'm going to add a little bit more here. You see, it's already starting to cook way down. It's amazing. You take like a pound of spinach and it cooks down to a little bowl fill. And actually, after this cooks down, I'm going to add a little bit of butter to this, and I'm going to add a little white wine, and that's how we're going to develop our white wine sauce. You'll see it's all wilting nicely. We'll start to add some butter. As this butter melts down, spinach will get nice and creamy. Here, look, there's just a tiny little bit in here now compared to that big pound that we started out with. Let's see. Olive oil. Here's my white wine. Let me layer these in this platter. Here's our chicken cutlets. And Leah, I'm going to need another one of these. I have Leah helping me today, just getting everything done for me in the background, because you could never do this all. We run live to tape, which means we just go right through 30 minutes. Only editing we do is to add a few drop-in pictures, so whatever happens, happens. These are our chicken cutlets that we had left over that was simply dredged in flour and looks like a little egg, almost like you were going to make a little bit of francaise. And so I'm just going to layer these out nicely to make a nice little, thank you. Okay, spinach, butter, wine, garlic, looking lovely. Let's get our eggs ready. I've got my chicken cutlets. I'll put my pieces of prosciutto. I like to put one piece of prosciutto for each cutlet. Look at it all falling apart, but that's fine because we're going to just put it nice in there.